So I'm currently making this video in case any of you are curious like me and want to do a project like this. Behind me I have a Hammond M-100 series. This is a 142, and I am installing an output on this organ, and I'll be recording this video, and if it goes good then I'll post it, and if I fail then I'll just have to delete all the videos. So you are along for the ride just like me. So let's get started. So what I've done here is I've taken the actual top off, which is just 2 screws. There's another one over there, and you just unscrew them with a little flat head. This metal piece comes off, and then there's a piece of metal that goes across. I've also removed that already. All you do is they've got these little clips right here. What you do is you'd actually just pull the piece of metal off, and then it exposed all of this. My mistake was thinking that I needed to, I don't know if you can see those screws right there. My thought was removing these screws, I'd have to remove all that. That only removes these tabs right here. So no, all you gotta do is remove this little metal, or this metal piece and this little piece of wood right here, and it'll expose all of this. So what I have right here is like some sort of, I don't know exactly what the purpose of it was, but when I got this organ, it was already cut, but it gives me a good idea on how to mount this. And so the tools I have for this, I used a 10 millimeter, it didn't fit. A 12 millimeter, it was too small. And so this is actually a size 13, but the actual thing I'm replacing it with is like this, this sort of on switch. It's for a guitar. I can't remember exactly what brand it is, but it has a size 14 nut, and so that's super easy. A Les Paul, that's what it's called. Not a Leslie, but a Les Paul. I'm using these wrenches right here, and I'm going to go ahead and remove that. I've already loosened it, but come to find out that's a size 13. So if you have that same piece on your organ, just know it's a size 13. So I got this removed. This is what it looks like. It's basically some sort of volume sort of thing, and it has a pull out. I'm not quite sure what this is. I'll ask my person at the music store later, but it's removed, and I have this nice little hole exposed. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in, make sure it fits, and if it does, I'm gonna go ahead and start wiring and soldering some wires to it. So all I have to do is just install it and forget about it until this project's done. Before I get too far ahead of myself, this is what it looks like, right? It has 3 prongs in the back, as you can see, 3 right there, and then one big one off on the side right there. That big one on the side is your ground, and then the middle one's for your power. The top one right there is what you're going to connect to either your speakers or your output, and then the bottom one, either your speakers or your output, depending on what you want. If you want it sideways, where it flips left and right, or up and down, up to you. The way I'm going to install it is just like this, where the ground is actually facing towards where the wires are coming from. I think it's going to, speed everything up and make it super convenient for this install. So come to find out, this is just at like slightly bigger than this hole, so I'm gonna have to get a drill bit or something and clean that out, but that's okay, that's totally fine. I'm just going to install it later into this build, and it'll be totally fine. But while I'm right here, let me show you what I have for my install. Of course, I have my soldering wire. So this right here is my resistor. It's a 25 watt. That's how much resistance it puts out. It has 2 speakers that's in line, so the wires are connected to each other. Each speaker has 4 ohms of resistance. You technically can't put too much resistance on a circuit. Well, you can, but you can't. It's kind of iffy. You're going to have to put some research into it. But since I have 2 speakers that are 4 ohms each, I'm going to go ahead and install an 8 ohm resistor in line with this, which is my 1/4 inch outlet. Right here, it has your dual power, and your one big one right here is for your ground. It has a lock in here. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to mount this, or if I need to build a mount for this. I'm not sure, but for the point of this now, I'm just going to install it and worry about mounting it and making it look pretty later. So today is a completely different day. Eventually just went home. I went and bought a drill bit, but it was again too small, so I'm gonna have to go get another one for that hole over there. But what I went ahead and soldered right here is your, on the three-way switch, it is your power and your ground. It looks absolutely terrible, but it's totally okay. It'll work. It's fine. I did the tug test and it's perfectly fine. What I'm going to do here is connect the power to the power in the back, the ground to the ground in the back, and then from there we'll be perfectly fine. On this, it takes a ground. From there, I'll just probably just wire the ground in somewhere along the line here, or maybe just ground it somewhere. I'll figure it out and I'll show you, and if it works, it works, and we'll go from there. So what I did here is, yep, this is the back of the organ here. Most organs will probably have this big, I guess the cover for where all of this extra stuff up underneath here is. So what I did was, and it's a pretty snug fit. All right, with that out the way, it's a lot better. But so what I did was I took the switch, which is going to go through that little hole right there. Okay, so I took the switch and I ran it, kind of like copying, kind of like what's going on over here and here. I ran it down through here. I'm going to try and get it to where it's like in there, sort of. Let me go make sure you see what I'm doing. There's like this little cutouts, so to make everything super convenient, and I'm kind of gonna have to root it behind here. I probably need to pull that wire out, but what I did was I routed it through here, through this convenient little hole where a bunch of wires are going, and then I'm going to start wiring up back here. So how this is, let me go ahead and zoom in for you. So how this works is it has a power coming through somewhere around here, and then it has a ground. It's connected to the speakers, and then the actual speaker itself is routed in line directly to the second speaker. And so my thought process here is to remove, sorry about that, to remove the power here. I'm going to zoom out so you can see everything I'm doing. Remove the power here, remove the ground here, wire the actual wire to this, and then route it to the switch, and then take the switch and route another power through here that connects right here to the speaker. Okay, and do the same concept, run power and ground up there to the hole, to the switch, run it all the way back down here, and it'll ground right here. Again, same concept is I'm going to take the ground from up here, and I'm going to just go ahead and solder another ground into the switch. My thought process is to put it, I know this is super tight and inconvenient, but it's to put the actual, see this wood stationary, it's a piece of, you know, the organ, is to actually either here, somewhere around here, actually place the outlet right there. Since all of this is going to be covered, so it'll look pretty. Plus I'm going to eventually probably take all this, put like either a piece of wood and make it pretty, or put a curtain right here. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, but for the wiring, I'm probably just going to put the outlet right here, or maybe through the side. I really don't want to mess up. I mean, this is such a pretty organ. I'll figure that out. Whether or not this is part of the video, I'm not sure, but I know for a fact I'm gonna figure it out, because we always figure out things, man. This is DIY. We always figure out things as we go, right? So So one more time, I'm gonna route the power and everything that I've already soldered. So that right there is gonna go right there. It's gonna go through here underneath this cover, and it's going to, underneath the cover through here, through this hole. This wire is going to actually come in. I'm going to make it look prettier, probably zip tie it to like one of these things or something, make it, like a little bit prettier, and solder this wire to power and ground, and then run a secondary power from there back through here, power and ground from the switch. So this is super weird, and I don't know if you can see, but on mine, I guess at some point somebody did this workmanship to my wire. So since I'm not going to use this anyway, I'm just going to cut it off right here, and then solder these two wires together, and then solder my power directly to this wire. The cool thing about this is, hopefully it's enough lighting, it just pulls right off. Like, let's pull the ground, comes right off. Super easy. So I might do the same thing to the ground, because this right here, I mean, it just doesn't look like it's, I could probably put a little piece right there, but that'd be a lot of work. So I'm just going to cut it off and go from there. So it's super rough, but here it is all put together. Now this again is going to be here. I'm going to, whoa, my camera skills are awful, but this is going to be right here. I just need to get that settled, get a drill bit. But that wire, that black wire comes down, goes into there, and then we have this nice little cover right here, so nothing will be interfered. There's like, I think a screw holds it on nice and pretty. Comes down here, it's not messing with anything else, and then that wire is going to be connected to that. My only hope is I have enough wire, because that's all I have left. I don't think I will, but if I don't, I have to get a drill bit anyway, so I'll just go get more wire. It'll be okay. All right, so go ahead and zoom in on this. Hopefully the flash helps, because it got dark. But yeah, so I had the power soldered onto the power from the cable, and then that's sent up to the switch, which is right there. And then what I did was I took the extra wire that I have here. Dude, I wasn't going to show you the soldering process, because as you can see, I am terrible at it. But it's okay. If it works, then I'll keep it there. Maybe get a couple of those little attachments at a later date and just go ahead and crimp those on there. But yep, I'm going to go ahead and take this extra wire, which is right here, send it up. I sent it through the same hole right there, as you can see, and I'm gonna go ahead and send it up the same route as the switch. Go ahead and solder the power there, and the ground as well. I'm gonna go ahead and solder the power and the ground, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're good. All right, so I sent the wire all the way up, this reverse order. I went ahead and put this cover on since I'm done with everything on the bottom. Sent it up, and then I soldered this right here. Went ahead and soldered ground to ground. I could have crimped it or whatever, but I didn't. Then I went ahead and let's try to fix this. Soldered the power side from the speaker, or from the switch to the speakers to the top. So how this is going to look is when I press the switch down, it's going to play the speakers that's on the bottom, and when I put it up, it's going to go straight to the output. That's the way I wanted to do it, so that's the way I'm going to do it. So to test it, this is a perfect opportunity to teach you how to start an organ if you don't already know. So you have your start and your run. It's a little bit too close. What you do is you want to hold this for 8 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you want to hold both of them together for 4, 3, 4, and let go. That'd be good. for now. All my drawers are put in, but I'm gonna put on full organ. And it works. It's good. Lovely. So with my organ, I have 2 main speakers and 1 reverb. I'm not going to send the reverb to the power. I'm just not going to do it. I don't feel like it. Plus, my reverb tank, as you can hear it, I don't know if it's going to pull up on the video, but it just sounds super staticky. It just doesn't sound good. I might just pull the power from that, so in case I do press it, the reverb won't come through on the speakers on the bottom, so it won't like mess up the atmosphere I'm trying to make. But yeah, we are good to go. Go ahead and just hit that, boom, and it's off. Now to just solder the speaker wire, which hopefully I have enough wire to do that, but we'll see. If not, we'll move this to another day. So I have it soldered and put it in, soldered in the power to the speakers. It works. I've already shown you that. I went ahead and did the power to the actual output, which is right here. It's kind of flimsy. What I'm going to do is actually solder the power to this resistor, and then from the resistor to the output, and the ground's going to go directly from ground to ground. It's not going to pass the resistor, which I could, but I don't want to. I'm just not going to. So I'm going to run, now I'm going to solder the power. What I'm going to do is just actually take this and just strip it all the way down to where I got the red and the black separated. I run red to this and then clip it and run red here. I'm not going to mount it right now. I don't even know if I'll show it mounted in this video. Maybe I will. I don't know, but that's not the point of me mounting this. The point is getting all this wired in DIY, which I know you can do better than me, but I'm doing it the best I can, at least right now, with the expertise that I have, which is very limited. But yeah, so I haven't gotten a drill bit. That's going to be another day. It's still going to be in the video, but it's going to be just a separate, probably after I do all this. I'm going to drill bit and then mount that. I might not even show me doing that. I mean, it's kind of common sense, but so one more time, I'm going to go ahead and strip this down to just the 2 wires to remove the insulation, run power to the resistor, and then from the resistor to this right here, which will be the bottom prong, and then the ground will be the big prong. Let's see if I can zoom in and get it better. So I have 3 prongs, as you can see. So typically on your normal plug-in, like it kind of resembles a plug-in, but on a normal plug-in, you would have like the 2 powers and the ground being on the bottom. Well, this is the opposite. The little ones are your power, and the big fat one, that's a ground. Okay? So I'm going to show that in a second. So after watching a couple of videos to make absolutely sure before I actually wire this up, I mean, it wouldn't be too terrible if I wired it wrong, but there's numbers on there. Hard to see. It's hard to see 1, 2, and 3. 1 being absolutely the ground, and 2, as you can see, let me see if I can zoom in without messing stuff up. That little piece of metal right there on number 2, which is the bottom one. Yeah, well, that's the positive for sure. So, and the one on the third side right there is an R cable, which I'm not running 2 audios in, just 1. So I'll be using number 1 and number 2, 1 being the ground, which is the one on the left, and 2 being the one on the bottom for positive. But other than that, I have this installed, too much. Again, power and stuff coming from that side, and then I have the power connected to the resistor, and then I'm going to just wire it up here, and then we'll test it. It'll be good, and I will worry about mounting it later. So I got all that soldered in, and I got all this. So I went ahead and tested it with my little speaker over there, and it works. It's good. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I'm gonna have to find a place to mount it, and at some point probably put it somewhere else, but it's good. It works. Thanks for watching.